And I've sat here for 10 years now, and I've suffered the slings and arrows of people who don't know the thing, and you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just jealous, and you wish you had him on your team, and blah, 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 blah. It has finally happened. They have finally crossed over the line and the point of no return.
Uh-oh.
They have finally empowered a man to be truthful with the fan base, to be honest with the fan base. And that man grabbed that opportunity by the horns and said, I'm your Huckleberry.
Is that Joe Girardi?
And decided to finally do something that has never been done since early 2007.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is.
Who do you think it is?
I know who it is.
Who's the guy with the biggest stones in town?
Ben McAdoo.
Ben McAdoo.
Yes, I know who it is.
You know the problem we have here at the New York Giants? Problem's Eli Manning. That's the head coach and the former offensive coordinator.
Well,
keeping it real.
Yeah,
you can blame Eric Flowers all you want. Take a look at Eli Manning's feet. Take a look at Eli Manning's decisions and interceptions and fumbles. Eli Manning is the problem.
I think he needs. I think Eli needs to do a better job playing with fast feet. He needs to sit on the back foot in the pocket. We're seeing a lot of man coverage, so the receiver is going to take a little bit more time to get open. I know exactly what he said. Everything may not be in rhythm. He's got to play with fast feet. He's got to sit on his back foot and be ready to hitch and throw into a throw. I know exactly what he's talking about, and I've often told you here a million times that the quarterback basically is the one who sets the tone for the entire offense. Now, if you have quality players around you, it makes it a lot easier for you to have success. If you're like Tom Brady, you look at who he's out on the field there with, how many Hall of Famers is he with? And maybe Julian Edelman will turn into one. I don't know. But at the end of the day,
not a lot.
He's not out there with a lot of Pro Bowlers. He's not out there with a lot of, what you would consider first-round draft picks.
And that goes, system guys.
That's the offensive line, too, by the way. When you look at that offensive line, people don't say, the Patriots have the Dallas Cowboy offensive line.
Right.
They don't have, the Green Bay Packer offensive line. And the reason for that is because Tom Brady kind of calms everybody down, kind of just does what he's supposed to do as a quarterback, and that's raise the level of everybody's game, not just the running backs, not just the wide receivers and tight ends, but that also goes for the quarterbacks. And I often point to, if you remember, in 1992, the New York Jets, I believe Browning Nagel was the starting quarterback before I got here.
Right.
Browning Nagel, I believe, got sacked like 50 times. Or 52 times, something like that. You can look back into it or whatever. And I'll never forget when I first got here, and Bruce Cosler told me, he goes, look, at the end of the day, the reason you're here is because you know this offense, and you're not going to take sacks, because sacks was driving those guys crazy.
Sure.
And I think we were only sacked either 25 or 26 times that next year in 1993. And the reason for that is because you get rid of the football. You know how to hard count people. Cadigan and Criswell were not jumping offside when I was the quarterback. They were jumping offside the year before. I'll never forget, I got here. I think Rich Cimini told me, he goes, these guys are the penalty pals. They're always jumping offside. And I'm saying, well, there's a reason for that.
Sure.
Because a rookie quarterback isn't really sure of what he's doing. And when he gets to the line of scrimmage, there's a lot of indecision. And that indecision permeates through the other 10 guys on the field with you. You leave a right tackle who's got no tight end next to him, and he's got a speed rusher outside of him. And you're on the road. And let's say you're in Kansas City. Let's say it's, Justin Houston.
Right.
And you're out there and you're on the road. You're in Kansas City. That right tackle can't hear. The one thing that right tackle does not want to have is any indecision. He doesn't want to be hung out to dry out there. He wants to know when the ball is going to be snapped.
Right.
And he's going to want to feel comfortable to get himself in position to stop the opposing pass rush.
Of course.
And it's something that I don't necessarily know that Eli has in his DNA. That's not, it's never been who Eli is. Eli's, has got to have a lot of things right around him. When he is untouched and he's comfortable and he gets in a rhythm, he's as dangerous as any quarterback in football.
Yep.
But I understand exactly what Coach McAdoo is saying. Now, I'm not going to extrapolate what he says and create it into this firestorm of controversy. He's just telling you the truth.
No coach.
And you want to know something? He's also calling Eli out in a sense, saying, you got to be better. And I bet you if you asked Eli would tell you, I got to be better.
Yeah, I'm sure he would, because he was not good. And he's part of the problem with the Giants had an offense with these great expectations.
Dude, remember
and they didn't live up to it.
They were 11-5, dude.
I know, but
all right, and you know what? And I'm just telling you, they're 11-5. They had 27 turnovers. 11 of those turnovers were fumbles. 4 of those 11 were Eli fumbles. There were 16 interceptions. Not all the interceptions are his fault. Some of the interceptions either go to a breakdown in coverage, or they go down to a wide receiver run the wrong route, or Eli's just basically inaccurate. The one thing I will say about Eli is that he can be inaccurate.
Yes.
And that's why they end up getting in 3rd and longs quite a bit.
I just like the fact that the head coach of the New York Giants was not bashful. Did not couch his comments and put Eli Manning under the spotlight. And that comes on the heels, by the way, of the NFL insider rumors that the New York Jets, the New York Giants, if the opportunity presents itself, would take that North Carolina quarterback.
Trubisky.
So the idea is that they're now coming to terms with the potential end, not tomorrow, not a year from tomorrow. They're now very much aware of Eli Manning's end of career.
Yeah, and don't think that this...
And that's an important kind of place for the Giants to be in.
And don't think that this conversation about Eli Manning isn't thought out, because... You now have you now have a defense. You spent all this money on defense. The defense kept you in all those games last year. And now it comes a time, look, we need the quarterback to be better. We need the quarterback to be the reason why we are winning. We need a quarterback to be Aaron Rodgers. When you have a crappy defense, he actually gets his team to the playoffs.
That's right.
Well, you have Tom Brady when you have a bunch of no-names in front of you for the most part.
Right.
Guess what? You get them to the playoffs.
That's
and not
exactly
only do you
right.
get them to the playoffs, you get them to the Super Bowl.
And you do what you got to do.
Yeah, so there's pressure definitely now. I would say this is a shot fired across the bow of Eli Manning.
This is a challenge to Eli Manning that you got to be better. You got the best, arguably with the best wide receiver in football. You have a great young player coming up as well.
And here, I also know what
it's on you. I love it.
What Ben McAdoo is doing here. Ben McAdoo is also saying, wait a minute. There's this story around the New York Giants. Oh, the offensive line sucks. There's no tight end. They got no running backs to speak of. He's out there by himself. Yeah, okay. Well, you're getting paid $25 million. You're going to be out there by yourself.
Right.
We can't pay everybody. Right?
No, but I love the fact that he goes, it's very easy to come out and go, oh, it's the offensive line's fault. Oh, it's the offensive line's fault.
But if you listen to Paul Schwartz, if you listen to anybody that covers the Giants, that is the prevailing thought.
Because they're afraid to criticize the starting quarterback.
And they have high draft picks on this offensive line.
That's exactly right. So I love it. So Eli Manning is now under the microscope from McAdoo. And for those of you out there that have questioned my football intellect, I finally come home to rue the day, because I've been telling you for years, there's nobody had the balls to say it. And now the head coach, who feels pretty good about himself.
Jerry Reese had the balls to say it.
In 2007.
Jerry Reese said that Eli was skittish.
Yes, before Eli won 2 Super Bowls, I was the toast of the town. I love it. Ben McAdoo might be my new favorite coach in town. That's a guy with stones. That's a guy that tells it the way it is and is not afraid of the Eli machine, the Eli PR machine. And you know what? If Eli is the competitor that I do believe that he is,
yes,
this will be the kind of thing that lights a fire under his butt, maybe.
It's got to.
And I hope they do draft a quarterback.